The following is a presentation of Flow Sports.
Tulsa in January. Inside this expo center, dirt racing reaches its purest form. Since 1987, the Chili Bowl Nationals have been the proving ground where every motorsports discipline meets and only one driver leaves with a golden driller. 350 plus cars, one building, and no margin for error. This is the 2026 Chili Bowl Nationals, powered by NOS Energy Drink.
Three nights down and 3 to go at the SageNet Center here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, as the Chili Bowl Midget Nationals, presented by NOS Energy Drink, rolls on. Yesterday was a very familiar number in victory lane as the Kevin Swindell wrench number 39, driven by Emerson Axum, battled with and beat Colby Copeland and fended off Dason Pursley in heavy lap traffic to get the win. But now it's time for Hasty Bake qualifying night number 4, where 82 drivers, the most all week, take to the Tulsa Expo Raceway here in about 60 minutes time. It's a special throwback Thursday edition of the Chili's pre-race show and the FloRacing broadcast as well. Sporting the old 2000 Chili Bowl Nationals t-shirt here. Brian Walker with Ron Schumann on, and Tony Laporta alongside as well with the Kevin Olson t-shirt on. Cages are for monkeys. That's a good shirt because you are a monkey.
Well, I appreciate you being so complimentary to me. My good friend Dave Popolars hooked me up with the shirt. Tiffin Wilrith, who runs Kyle Larson's merch truck and trailer for him, he gave me the book. If you haven't read it, it's a memoir, a biography of Kevin's life. It's a phenomenal read, whether you're a fan of midget racing or a fan of funny people. It's a really good book.
Walker's got the hat on as well. I mean,
Absolutely.
You went all out today.
We're in Tulsa, Oklahoma. You got to Rocco Fixco.
Got to. Absolutely. Well, yesterday, just incredible action all the way through, and we're looking forward to another great night, in my opinion, and obviously my opinion means nothing, but I feel like tonight is maybe the most stacked all the way throughout the field as far as the prelim nights go. As I mentioned, 82 cars in the pit area. That's the most on a prelim night for Thursday since 2018, and so a ton of guys going here this evening, gentlemen, and we'll talk more about our favorites later on, but after yesterday, after the day before, we have not seen one guy win from the pole. It's been really exciting all the way through.
Absolutely. I mean, it's what you expect when you come to the Chili Bowl, honestly. We talked about it the other day, how I feel like with every passing night, the intensity just ramps up. And I think last night proved that with that battle down the stretch between Emerson, Dason, and Colby was up there as well. Yeah. And I was talking to Ryan Bernal about it beforehand, before the show started. It was like, it just feels like tonight is a bunch of great guys.
Yeah, it's a very loaded field, like you said, highest entry count on a preliminary night to this point. And you talk about how the racing's gotten better and better every night. Well, yeah, like you said, it's what you come to expect when you're here at the Chili Bowl. What a great job they do with track prep, Gravel and Steve Hahn and Martin Edwards, everybody down there. Like I said yesterday, those guys build a notebook night after night, and they keep that notebook and expand on it year after year, and they write down what worked, they write down what didn't, and it's not just, hey, drove around 2 laps with some water, let's do that again tomorrow night. They take detailed scientific notes, and it shows. Look how good that track was last night. Emerson Axum, he gets to lap traffic with 13 to go, and they're stacked too wide in front of him. He can't go high, he can't go low, because the track was perfect for 2 lanes of racing, and that's what allowed a lot of guys the night before. Blake Hahn goes 8th to the win. So lots of passing, lots of side-by-side racing. That's just what you get when you go to a top-notch midget event like the Chili Bowl Nationals.
I had a nugget on that I forgot about. Over the last 20 years...
A chicken crisper, please.
Okay. Throughout the past 20 years, only once has the entire week a pole sitter not won a prelim. That was 2022, a few years ago.
Really?
So we're on verge of breaking that, is what you're saying.
Well, it happened in 2022.
Got it, okay.
Wow, so that's interesting to keep an eye on here this evening. Now let's take a look at today's menu, the schedule of events. We will have hot laps coming up at 4 p.m. That's about an hour away from right now. Then we'll get an opening ceremonies. There will be 9 heat races here this evening. Remember, it's all about the passing points. Got to be top 40 after the heats to go to a qualifier. If you do not finish in that top 40, you will go to one of either a D B main or a C main. We'll have 4 qualifiers. Then you need to be in the top 16 in points after combined qualifier and heat race points. If you are in that top 16, you'll be locked into tonight's feature event. The rest of them will go to a B main. The feature is 30 laps in distance. The top 2 in that feature will lock into Saturday night's A main. The rest of them will be spread out between B's, C's, D's, E's, and F's. Here are the notable entries for tonight, and we can only fit 10 on this graphic, but there are plenty more guys to watch for here in this one. And of course, I mean, I can't just pick out one guy here, but of course, Christopher Bell, multi-time winner here on Thursday. Tanner Thorson, multi-time winner on Thursday. And you got Jacob Denny up there, who's maybe been the hottest midget driver in 2025, won both the Extreme Outlaw and Power Eye Midget Championships. Kyle Cummins, watch for him. His teammates have been just incredible all week.
It would not shock me at all if any one of those names won tonight.
Yeah.
Like that's how good this field is, Tony.
And you talk about how good Kyle Cummins should feel with the performance of his teammates to this point. CJ Leary should feel the same with Alex Bowman Racing. You see Briggs Danner drive to his best ever preliminary night finish, locking his way into the show earlier this week. Alex Bowman always brings really fast and really good-looking race cars. CJ Leary, I'm not just saying this because I got to bring him and his lovely wife Christy together in Holy Matrimony back a few weeks ago as their
Holy
preacher.
Matrimony.
Holy Matrimony. It's a big term. I googled it right before we went on. But yeah, I mean, you're right. It would not be a surprise if any one of those 10 names you just saw was able to pick up the victory here. It's an absolutely star-studded cast tonight for qualifying.
Now, one of those 10 names that was on that list, Brian, we're going to talk about him in our What's Cooking Today segment, is Ryan Burnell. Of course, on Sunday, a couple days ago, on the practice day, was just trying to get some laps in the books and feel out his race car, gets upside down in a huge way. Talked to him earlier today, talked to him on Monday as well. They had to replace just about every bolt-on part on this car after this wild sequence of flips down the back straightaway. And you could see Burnell, he said he hit his head on the steering wheel. I mean, it was a bad deal. They got the car fixed up. And now, Brian, he's looking to pull an Andrew Felker from a few years ago, destroy the car on practice day, and then lock in the same week.
Yeah, I tweeted it almost immediately when he flipped on Sunday. I said, always live bet one of the good guys when they flip Sunday on practice day. Spencer Baston was another one. It happened a few years ago. He flipped pretty big on practice day. Won this night, Thursday night, prelim, and like you said, Felker. So this happens. Guys crash and they rebound stronger than ever.
You're big on Twitter?
No.
I'll have to check that out.
He's big on X.
I don't know what Twitter is.
Sorry,
It's
big
X.
on X. My bad. And Chase, man, that replay of Burnell getting upside down and tumbling down the back straight, that looked like you leaving Lenny's the other night. I'm just glad both of you are okay.
Yeah, I was definitely at Lenny's last night. That is for sure. Now,
Hey, I didn't name the night. I just said the other night.
the other night.
Don't give up too much.
Could have been last week, could have been last month, could have been last year. Speaking of Burnell, his teammates have been really good all week. They've all been in the top 5. That's Copeland, Golovic, and Brooks have all finished in the top 5. He will try to keep that streak alive. What else is cooking today? We have not had a winner this week start on the pole of the prelim night. Kyle Larson started 4th, Blake Hahn started 8th, and Emerson Axum started 2nd. Now, as for the pole sitters, McIntosh 3rd on Monday, Dom finished 4th on Tuesday, and then last night Kevin Thomas Jr. ran 5th. So maybe starting on the pole is not the best place to be there, Brian, but I looked it up earlier. The last 3 Thursdays have been won from the pole.
With what? Bell, Thorson, and Basin. Yeah,
Yep.
checks out. I mean, at the end of the day, I think we've just seen it all week long, especially with the way passing points roll out, and you have so many good guys. Like tonight, we're going to preview later on, Christopher Bell's on the pole of a heat race. So, I mean, right off the bat, he's not going to have a ton of passing points, but he's a guy that has won the prelim from 4th, 6th, I think 5th one time.
Well, and I know this isn't the point you're trying to make, but, starting on the pole position, it hasn't boded well for everybody in the prelim nights to this point. But remember, it doesn't pay anything to win these qualifying features, right? You want to give yourself the best chance you can at finishing in the top 2 at the end of each night's A main event, because if you do that, you're guaranteed to race on Saturday in that A feature. That does pay a lot of money and hand out that special 40th anniversary Golden Driller. So starting on the pole, whether it's been, super good for guys or not, I wouldn't get too messed up in that. Like you said, still go out there and get as many passing points as you can, because the better you can set yourself up to make sure you have a chance to lock in for Saturday, that's ultimately the goal. That's what Shane Golovic always preaches. Big picture racing in the days leading up to Saturday. You've got to put yourself in as best a position as you can to make Saturday short and successful.
Yeah, no doubt. The final thing we'll mention here in what is cooking today is Danny Stratton back inside of the Tulsa Expo Raceway. He was not on our notable entries graphic there, but 5 years ago he would have been on that graphic, Brian. He is a perennial guy inside the top 5, has not ran a midget race since this event back in 2023, has ran a handful of micro shows. He told me today that he tested this 47 car for Andy Bondio at the Lemoore Jet Bowl in Central California a few weeks ago. So a few laps, and then he told me earlier today as well, Brian, that on practice day it was the best he has ever felt in this car in the building, which is surprising considering he has not ran a midget in almost 3 years.
That's big. I mean, Danny Stratton's a guy who has earned the respect for us to talk about him too. 6-time championship A-main starter. I believe his best finish was 4th one of those years. It was only 7 or 8 years ago now. He ran 2nd on Thursday night in a Bondio car to Christopher Bell. So
his teammate was good already this week.
Great.
Yeah.
I like how you put that Stratton has earned the respect. You know who else has earned the respect in this building is his car designer and owner. Okay, Andy Bondio is a legend in this building, and I hope people remember that. He's a 3-time winner as a car constructor of the Chili Bowl Nationals, and if I have my notes here correctly, the frame that Danny Stratton is racing in is the frame that won those 3 Chili Bowls. It's also won at the Belleville High Banks. That's a frame that was built in 2007. Andy Bondio fabricated that car himself. And a little bit more interesting information on that race car. The engine block inside of it is from 1987, and the heads were cast in 1983. Yes, the internals of the engine today are up to date and modernized. But again, it's an 87 block and an 83 cast set of heads. I mean, Andy Bondio does things very, very differently, but I don't think you can knock the way he does them. That guy's a legend in this building. He's won here several times, and he's got 2 beautiful race cars. I can't wait to see how it gets around the track tonight.
The engine block in that car, Tony was 2 years old when that was first made, so pretty
87.
Impressive that it is still around to this day. When we come back here on the Chili Bowl pre-race show, we'll talk to Wikipedia about his triple dipping stats. Stay tuned here on FloRacing. "45 minutes till cars hit the racetrack for hot laps on night number 4 of the 40th annual Chili Bowl Midget Nationals here at the Tulsa Expo Raceway in Oklahoma. And now we will jump into the triple dipping stats here on the Chili Bowl pre-race show with our resident expert, Brian Walker. What is the first of the triple dipping stats here tonight?
We're talking about Tanner Thorson and actually a guy that ran on Monday night that we talked to on the post-race show, Jerry Coons Jr.,
Yep.
has the all-time record of 14 consecutive A main starts in the championship race. That was 2004 to 2017, I believe. Tanner Thorson, if he makes it in this week, he'll be at 12. He already has the second longest streak in the history of the Chili Bowl. He's done it with 7 different car owners: Keith Coons, Joe Dooling, Clyde Lamar, Brody Hayward, Dave McIntosh, Andy Reinbold, and now himself. So it's pretty impressive. That was one of the records for the longest time that most people thought was untouchable. 14 straight years, and Tanner Thorson's pretty close.
I know the streak is impressive, but looking at that list of car owners, I mean, there's got to be a stat out there about the amount of different cars and owners a driver works with. I don't know if we have that stat off the top of your head, but I mean, that in itself is impressive, that Tanner Thorson is malleable enough to get into pretty much any race car and be successful. And I heard Keith Coons once describe Tanner Thorson as an engineer who just doesn't have a degree from some big fancy university. So, I mean, wow, that to me is just as big of a deal, how many different owners he's done it with.
I've made the joke several times that I would love to wear a different Tanner Thorson t-shirt for every single day of the week at the Chili Bowl, because it is very easy to do with just his midget car owners. But as Tony mentioned, very impressive that he's been fast in all of those. And Jerry Coons Jr., man, we can't talk about him enough. The longevity that guy has been able to produce is absolutely incredible, and Tanner Thorson is looking to challenge that here in the coming years. Now, what is the second of those triple-dipping stats?
Second one is the guy who has dominated Thursday night for the last decade plus when he's here. That's Christopher Bell. Obviously, when they're on track, Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell is the hottest rivalry in dirt racing, and they're chasing each other through the record books as well. Kyle got his 9th prelim win Monday night, now sets the all-time record, and Bell sits at 8 currently, tied with Sammy Swindell and Rico Abreu. And I can only imagine, as you see there, this that epic 2019 battle, the 2020 race they've had. So many iconic moments in this building, that big flip. They're chasing each other on the track and in the record books, and I know Bell wants to get him back tonight.
Well, I'm struggling to pull it up in time, but FloRacing, right before the week began, put out a really great piece. I think it's called The Rivalry. I don't want to get it wrong, but it's like a 14 or 15 minute piece, totally deep diving the rivalry between Christopher Bell and Kyle Larson in this building. If you have not watched it, as soon as this pre-race show is over, you need to get over to FloRacing and watch that piece. It's really well done. But what I like a lot about Christopher Bell this year is he's kind of followed in Kyle's footsteps in the terms of bringing his own equipment, right? Kyle's been doing it for a few years. They both had successful drives with KKM. But, man, you could see it in Christopher's face right after the Race of Champions on Monday. It means so much to bring your own stuff here and to be fast and to be successful in it. I just love that wrinkle of the rivalry, that now they're even bringing their own equipment and fielding their own cars and having their own crew guys and their own teams. I think that's a great part of it.
That is a little deeper wrinkle there between those two, and those streaks, or the prelim night wins for them too. So that's something cool that is a part of that as well. Now, Brian, who is the sneaky threat for tonight to get the win that you think?
Yeah, so we talked a little bit earlier about how there are so many great guys tonight, and I consider this guy one of them. But honestly, the Chili Bowl Nationals every year attracts so many casual viewers, right, that they think of Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell,
Yep.
Logan Seavey, Tanner Thorson. I think this guy, Jacob Denny, is someone that a lot of casual viewers out there are going to be aware of or consider tonight.
Yep.
16 national midget wins last year. I believe he won the Power Ride title, the Extreme title.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the best outdoor midget racers that's going to carry over here. He went to Keith last year for the first time after an extended tenure with I believe Jerome Rodell, as you look at his JBL number 67 back here. Teammate Ashton Torgerson tonight as well. So, but he went to Keith last year, got his first A main start, and I think they're going to be even better tonight.
11th to 5th in this building on his prelim night last year. And yeah, Brian, you beat me to name dropping one of my absolutely favorite people in the entire sport of dirt racing, and that's Jerome Rodella. That's how I became familiar with Jacob Denny. Jerome Rodella is a lot like Andy Bondio, right? He builds some fantastic looking race cars, little unique oddities to him. Jerome's just an awesome person, real beautiful spirit, kind of like you, Chase, real beautiful spirit. I like that this stat is called the sneaky threat. Brian Walker sometimes referred to as the sneaky link. But I think Jacob Denny definitely fills that kind of void as maybe someone that not everybody knows, but it's someone absolutely everybody should know.
I remember when Jacob Denny came in for the first time driving one of the Petrie Motorsports cars, and he got fitted for a green jacket in the Chili Bowl pool. He was a legend on that week.
Well, one of the years too, it was him and Chris Windham on the front row of a heat race, and he beat Windham by a good stretch.
Yeah.
And Chris came back in and was like, I don't know who that kid is,
that guy?
but man,
Isn't that the best? We've had that at High Limit a couple times where somebody pulls in and goes, well, who was that?
Yeah.
And then by the next time they're on track, they know darn good and well who that was.
I love those moments. Well, we've also got some more of the bottomless chips and flips to take a look at. That flip count now sits at 28 on the week. Here's how it's broken down. 8 on Sunday during practice, 3 on Monday, a low flip count there, 10 Tuesday, and 7 last night. And there were some wild moments here from yesterday as we take a look at them now here on the FloRacing broadcast. Upside down there was Jacob Hawkins after getting up on the right rear, and we've seen that happen so many times, especially early in the night when the track has got some juice to it. Cap Henry goes around there in his heat race. He tried to rebound later on. Jake Swanson goes around, and he gets clipped a little bit there by Cole Tinsley. And Sammy Swindell may be the big one of the night.
That was the big one of the week,
Yeah, the whole week,
honestly.
the whole week.
That was a wild ride, obviously. It was really good to see him get out of that car, too, obviously.
And I've already been told he's built the thing up and he's ready to go at it again on Sunday or Saturday.
I believe it 100%.
Well, Chase, these accidents are just living proof of something you and I talked about earlier. Probably during one of your Dutch Brothers runs. It's that
This was after the checkered, by the way.
I know. What was going on there?
people don't realize how fast these cars get around this track at the Tulsa Expo Raceway. If you've spent your whole Chili Bowl career watching the race on Flo, good on you. It's a good way to take in the content. But you got to come here and see how fast these guys get going, and that's why these accidents are so easy to see develop.
I just wanted. Whoa, man!
Yeah.
That was Aiden Price.
Yeah, big
good
one.
to see him make the A-main and obviously climb out of the car. That last minute substitution. That was a bit of a shock, and I know a lot of people were like, "Who's Aiden Price?"
He was fast early in the night until that
he was
wreck.
good. Yeah, I mean, he locked in.
Yeah, he did look good up until that incident took him out of the race. Also, you know who also looked good last night until the last lap was Cale Drake. Unfortunately, did not cross the finish line, running in the 6th position with 1 lap to go. He ended up finishing 16th in a crash there in the feature event. But we've got more, I'm sure, of those bottomless chips and flips coming here tonight on Thursday. When we come back here on the Chili's pre-race show, we are going to talk to an official Chili's athlete. That's right, Carson Hocevar will join us on the pre-race show right after this break. The Chili's Chili Bowl pre-race show continues on here on Thursday night of the 40th Chili Bowl Midget Nationals presented by NOS Energy Drink. And as we have done every single day this week, we will now add a fourth member to the pre-race show. It is the official Chili's athlete, Carson Hocevar. That's a good photo right there. Should have brought that hat today, Carson, but thank you for joining us here on the pre-race show. As I mentioned, you are the official Chili's athlete. How awesome is it to see these guys getting involved and going in the deep end in dirt racing? We've seen the thing with Gio at High Limit. Now they're doing the pre-race show at the Chili Bowl. This is a really cool partnership.
Yeah, it's really cool for me because I love dirt racing. Jeff Dickerson, our owner, loves dirt racing. So to be able to take a NASCAR sponsor, right, that got attached to Spire Motorsports, and Spire wanted to grow the dirt, presence with dirt late model that I get to run some, and then Gio with a sprint car full time. It's super cool. And then Tim, who kind of runs the whole campaign for Chili's with the racing deal, he's here, and he grew up an hour from here, so obviously the Chili Bowl is almost his home event here. So it's all super cool that they are obviously jumping into it and love it, and they are part of it. But really, they're all just becoming racers. I'm noticing every time I talk to them, you go to these corporate events, they don't ask what's it like going 200 mile an hour. Now they're getting technical, and now they're talking about dirt racing even.
So I know you're not racing this week, but I believe you ran here 2 times. I think both with Kyle Bielman Motorsports, right? Take me through that experience. What was it like? Do you miss it?
Yeah, I've missed it ever since I've gotten out of it. And the more I've watched it, the more I'm like, I had no idea what I was doing. And then I got to run the dirt late model a bunch, and I got to, didn't really understand. It was all just, thrown in, I got to run the Chili Bowl, and a sponsor wanted me to do it, or my team owner wanted me to do it a month in advance. I got in touch with Kyle. I showed up, but the most nervous I've ever been, everybody talks about the ramp going down. The most nervous I was sitting there in front of the push truck because you're not doing anything. At least when you're getting pushed down the ramp, you're driving and you can start, thinking about it. But when I was sitting there dead still and you hear the sound, but everything gets quiet, in the car, and you're just sitting there waiting to get pushed off, that's when I was the most nervous, just because you're sitting there overthinking, shoot, okay, do we have everything right? Do I know the track? And then you start really second guessing everything. But I just picture this track as the perfect midget track, and I'm obsessed with watching in-car cameras of this just because of how technical it is, how different in-car cameras, how different styles are, and everything that, I miss it a lot, to answer your question.
Well, the good news is you can always come back and race again in the future. Hopefully something like that gets put together. Hey, Chase Rodman just introduced you as an official Chili's athlete. That piques my interest, obviously. As food,
I made that up.
Food's a big part of my life. Well, I just want to know, obviously you're partnered with Chili's, a great brand. They're partnering with us. We're grateful for the opportunity to work with such a well-known brand. What's it like? Are you shutting down Chili's every weekend on the road with NASCAR? What's the go-to on the menu? What do I need to try? Give me the inside line on that Chili's menu.
I just go to get the triple dipper. It's super easy. The biggest thing is I get a gallon of strawberry lemonade. I love strawberry lemonade. I'm not a soda guy, but I love lemonade. So that was the first thing. And they actually put a strawberry lemonade machine in the shop.
Oh.
So that's basically unlimited, and they're always refilling it and stuff just to help me out. But it's super fun just because there's so many sponsors in NASCAR, especially that none of my friends can afford or do.
Right.
You can't really go get a life insurance thing or build a submarine or who knows. There's so many sponsors that are a lot of corporate B2B or whatever, right? And there's Chili's as a consumer. We could all go to Chili's. I have a gold card. I can run the bill pretty good with a lot of my buddies and enjoy it. But so many of my friends, they now just text me, and there's so often that on Twitter people are texting me pictures that they're at Chili's or riding the Dente. That's been the most popular, is riding the Dente. I didn't know how, I thought it was cheesy. At first I was like, yeah, this is funny. I enjoy it. It's the Presidente Margarita. It's cool. It's got to get a ring to it. But, even when I wasn't in the Chili's gear, people are telling me to ride the Dente, and it's been a lot of fun to see how excited people are. And I think consumer brands are, what built NASCAR up and had people be iconic to that car. And I think it's cool, too, with it being dirt. There's not a lot of corporate, sponsors here. And here there's a lot of about 6 or 7. Like, I did it. Dang it. I didn't mean to actually do that. Clint Boyle's probably laughing.
That's
right
like the
now.
third time this has happened.
I know, but there's so many different sponsors that are just piecing things together, buddies and everything. But I think Chili's is really getting a lot of love right now, just because it's a corporate sponsor getting in the dirt world, and they're I think they're a really, really big fish in this pond, right?
They get a lot of love from us. We travel with High Limit 60, 70 nights here, and we're always pulling over and hitting Chili's. Chase, I know you love to ride the Dente every chance you get.
Oh, 3 times at least a day.
Wow,
when we're there.
That's a lot.
Yeah, the big one.
Yeah, exactly.
The big Dente, yeah. Carson, obviously you are very busy with your day job, but you do find yourself behind the wheel of a dirt late model every now and again. My question, you say you love dirt racing. How much are you paying attention to that throughout the year on FloRacing? Are you watching High Limit every time you can? Are you watching the Lucas late model? Are you watching USAC midgets? How much are you paying attention to the dirt racing throughout the year?
I mean, it lives on my TV, honestly. Like, I literally just, I think my owner has gotten tired of me, and especially Tim Clausen, because I'll be texting them at like 3 a.m. of just like, dude, watch this in-car, like, dude, like how he passes, like I'll give him a specific spot and track, and it'll be like a night before a cup race even, and I'm just like, dude, you guys see this move in the midget race or the sprint car race or whatever. I think their phone has been worn out, and I think they're either going to put me in a midget because they're tired of hearing me, or they're never going to let me come back, or they're going to get rid of my Flow subscription because I'm just burning their phones by texting them nonstop. But it's been a lot of fun to just literally live on Flow and live on all the in-cars. Like the second in-car camera's posted. I'm probably watched it tonight. So that's the most fun I have, is just watching it. And then obviously driving a little bit of midget, I can like somewhat vicariously race and live through them of that in-car camera, and that's how I get my niche, even though I'm not racing.
You mentioned a gold card. I believe you own a Chili's, right?
No, so so the story with that was the local radio station or whatever said that the Chili's was closing, and it happened to be my hometown. And like how fake clickbait stuff gets, and it had a ton of attention. So like the local Chili's was asking corporate for some help, and I was like, all right, a social video of me just saying it's open is not going to work. I was like, can I just say I bought it? And there's so like, I think my boss Jeff like had no idea about it. We forgot to tell him, and he just sends me, "Congrats?" ? And then my mom's like, "Did you actually buy the Chili's?" I was like, no, like it was kind of a joke, but like I was like, all right, I'm just gonna own it now. Like I'm just gonna run with it. But but it's cool that a brand's like completely cool with that, and like just getting clicks and getting attention of it. I'd like to buy it eventually, but I gotta win some races first.
I mean, I think if you buy it, you should have to go in and work, and you should have to wear that jacket when you go into work.
I agree.
Hey, we had Frank Kelleher from Daytona International Speedway in here yesterday, and we ran out of time with him, but I wanted to ask him this question, and I think you can probably provide a really good answer as well. You're not a promoter in the sense that he is at Daytona with so many big events, but you're a racer through and through. You compete at all those big events that he's a part of and we're a part of here. When you come to an event like the Chili Bowl Nationals powered by Nasser, you go to the Gateway Dirt Nationals, you get to see a very different kind of event than the type you're used to competing in on Sundays with the NASCAR Cup Series. Is there a part of like the infrastructure or the organization that stands out to you that I'm not trying to say NASCAR could benefit or whatever from, but you just enjoy and you go, man, that'd be great to see expand into other kinds of motorsport?
I think the biggest thing that I've wanted is just, I don't know how you do it on the NASCAR level, but like just walking after the A-Main and seeing fans or seeing people that bought pit passes be able to go walk the track, or just at least get close to the track. But like being able to walk the track at any local short track, or especially here, or like big nights, just walking the track to those folks, like they just feel way more a part of it than not. And I wish there's somehow, some way we could implement that on the NASCAR side, because I think that would be such a positive reaction to that. But I know as I was a kid, like being able to go to the pits after a local race, no matter where it was, or go on the track, was the highlight of the night for me after a race. So I would imagine there's kids out there, even just adults that are race fans and never really get to achieve that at a big night like this, and they get to go see the curb, and they get to go see everything, and they get to see the bumps and feel it. That's such different feeling than just getting told about it 100 times.
Just see it.
Just see it and feel
20,
it and
30 yards
experiment
away.
it, and just experience it.
I think that's a great answer.
Carson, before we let you go, one final thing. Obviously, Spire Motorsports has a sprint car team now. Does that mean that maybe someday we could see you in a wing sprint car, or at least testing one?
I mean, I would love to do it. I know they're dangerous. My ask would be if I promise not to ask to drive the sprint car, can I race the Chili Bowl? I'd be willing to trade that.
It's a good trade-off.
I feel like this would be a lot safer. I feel like both would be a lot easier to ask if I was about a foot shorter, so I'm kicking myself with that. But no, they get to let me do so many cool things, and I get to run a lot more dirt late model stuff and go racing. And so I'm not gonna get greedy, but I would love if it came up. I would not say no, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to ask because they do a lot for me, and I'm very appreciative of that.
Well, Carson, thanks for joining the pre-race show. Have fun tonight with whoever you're hanging out with, and enjoy the rest of the week.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
All right, that is Carson Hocevar. We're going to go to a break here on FloRacing, but when we come back, FloRacing CEO, co-founder, and our fearless leader, Mark Floriani, will join the Chili's pre-race show.
Hey y'all, we are in Austin, Texas, and I'm standing in front of the White Pearl. We're off to the Dvorak tournament in Mackenzie, Illinois.
It's open season, Bader.
There is a 61-600. They're going to be under 1330. First track recap of the cross-country season. Welcome to the first episode of Run Junkie.
I can take you in the late night, anytime, any place.
3 minutes into the bout, we got one takedown each.
Russell! 346.93! He just got the American record!
Nice. The White Pearl. How's it look? Looks pretty good. our home. It's got the same smell, man. I actually love this smell. So we had a TV up here. We actually had a PlayStation. We had a CB radio. We never knew how it worked, but we'd try.
Let us know where we should stop. If we want to go for a run, if you want us to interview someone, let us know on the way. And yeah, man, this is going to be HQ.
What does it say? I don't know how many miles it is, but I mean, we had to put 100,000 miles in or so.
So we still have 6 hours to go, bottom line.
So I remember pulling out of our driveway on our first trip, and I said, hey, we have 2 rules. You never turn down a place to stay and never turn down a meal. And we got really good at both.
1:23 a.m. Everything's uploaded, ready to go.
In 2006, when we started, video on the internet was not a thing. There wasn't much social media, so there was no influencers or vloggers. My brother Martin had an idea and he wanted to talk with me about it, and he busts into my room at about 2 a.m. I was asleep. He pulled out his computer and showed me a video of a coach.
After college, I started going and talking to the top wrestlers and coaches across the country.
Telling a story about not even wrestling, but about life. And he told me, hey, I'm gonna do this for wrestling. I want you to do this for track, and then we'll start from there. And instantly I knew that this is something that could be big. And so we got a big mat, we put pins in it. We found this baby here for $3,000 on Craigslist in Dallas, Texas. And on the way down, it broke down. Like we went bankrupt on our first purchase.
How the hell does that reach?
After we came back from our 2-month trip traveling and filming, we said, hey, we should post a video a day. And from that first video, it resonated with the community, but also brands started noticing.
From the White Pearl and a video a day to streaming 50,000 events, including the 2026 Chili Bowl Nationals, we now welcome the CEO and co-founder of FloRacing, Mark Floriani, to the Chili's pre-race show. Mark, first off, glad you partook in Throwback Thursday there with the old Tony Stewart T-shirt on.
I didn't even know you guys were doing it.
That's perfect. It worked out just right. But expand on this 2 a.m. dorm room idea to start Flow Sports, and now what it has become today, just a global brand, right? And now the Chili Bowl Nationals is a huge event on there, along with everything else. I mean, it's crazy to think that you guys were in a dorm room early in the morning, and now this is what it's become.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. When you watch that video, I mean, Father Time is undefeated. I look a lot older than I do in that video, but I mean, we knew from the beginning that there were these passionate communities and they weren't getting the love that they deserved. We just started in track and field and wrestling, but we knew that there was a ton of communities out there, millions of people that just did not get the content that they wanted. And when we looked at motorsports, I mean, that's it. There's these raving fans here that, you know, they weren't getting the content. And if you think about it, I don't know, we've only been in motorsports for 5 years. I think hopefully we've grown the sport. Our mission at Flow Sports is to grow our sports every day, and hopefully we're doing that.
I want to talk to you about that White Pearl. That is an incredible little video, that piece. I didn't know anything about that. What is it like to know that basically this empire that you've built started with that little van?
Oh, man, I love that White Pearl. You know, I don't really think about it that much. Every day I'm trying to, unfortunately, sometimes I'm like, hey, you're just thinking about how we can get better, how we can get better, how we can get better. Obviously, seeing that video brings me back. But it's a lot of work, and every day we're working hard, just like you guys are working every day, to try to make a better product for our customers. And if we focus on that, we feel like, you know, we can continue to grow, because I think this is just the beginning. You know, we've come a long way, but there's a long way further we can go.
You know, I liked that piece. That was really cool to see as well. And I learned that you and I are very similar in the fact that you have one rule, or at least you did back then. It's a rule I live by feverishly. I think you can tell, and it's never turned down a meal. Yeah. So I'm glad to know we operate on similar wavelengths.
We got really good. We would go to a house. They would say, hey, where are you staying? And we'd say, you know, we're going to sleep in the van down by the river.
Right.
And they would quickly say, oh, you can stay here. Boom.
That's pretty.
There you go.
That's pretty friendly of those people. You talked about the deserving and passionate communities, and then you went on to say that motorsports is one of them. Which, man, at the High Limit banquet last 2 years ago, when you and Brad Sweet got up to speak at different ends of the banquet, I learned that both of you have just a unrealistic passion to help grow sports that you're interested in and you love. You have a great relationship with Tony Stewart. He was just on this show yesterday.
I love Tony.
He gifted you that shirt. What have you learned about the motorsports community through guys like Brad Sweet, through Tony Stewart?
I mean, Tony, we owe a lot to Tony Stewart. I mean, he took a chance on us with the Eldora. He believed in us. He's been a huge supporter. I wear this shirt with pride all over Austin, Texas. I mean, it's funny, you know, a motorsport, you know, a fan or a runner or a community, a wrestler maybe are different on an individual level, but as a community, they act the same way, right? They take care of their own. If you have passion and you're working hard, they're going to want to support you. And so the motorsports community has been amazing. It's been a lot of fun over the last 5 years.
Mark, it was really cool to see those old videos of you guys, you know, the home video style of you know, videos you had going on there. When that stuff is going on, are you guys thinking in the moment, hey, maybe one day when we make it big, we'll look back on these videos and think that, man, this was awesome? Or was it like one of those moments where like, maybe we will use those, or maybe we'll just delete these and never see them again? But it's crazy. Like, you had those out there, and now here we are today. It's a huge success.
Well, it's funny because in school I hated speech class. I hated speaking in front of people. And one day I was like, well, if this business is going to have to work, I have to get in front of a camera. And so, but I don't like watching myself. So, you know, I never thought that maybe, you know, looking at it, it does make me proud. But I was just literally just trying to get to the next thing, get to the next thing, get to the next thing. And that's what that was about.
Awesome.
Mark, we're here at Chili Bowl. I don't know what year it is for Flow here, but it's been several years that Flow has been broadcasting Chili Bowl, and it is bigger than ever, and I think Flow 100% is responsible for that. What do you think about this event and how big it has gotten?
I mean, that's what Flow Sports is all about, right? Like, our mission is to grow our sport. It's not just to grow Flow, it's to grow all of this, right? And so when we can come in and do an event, and 5 years ago, maybe it was X big, and then we continue to invest in it, trying to make it better, and then get a sponsor like Chili's here to support this so we can have this show. Like, that's what it is about. It's about growing the pie for the fans, for the event directors, for the drivers. We want to make this bigger and bigger, and we hope we're a part of it, but it's all about growing it and making it better every single day, every single year.
I don't have a question. I just want to tell you thank you, because Chase and Brian and I, we've all had opportunities to work with other streaming groups in our sports, and they don't seem to have the forward vision that you do at Flow. So we really are grateful to be partners with you guys.
I love you guys. You guys are great. You guys have so much fun. I mean, I love watching these the broadcast, and it's like I keep telling everyone, hey, let's just have fun. Whatever is there, you know, let's not be stuffy. Like, how do we make this fun? How do we make this cooler? How do we make this bigger for the community? You guys are doing that, and I appreciate it. You guys kick ass, man.
Thanks, Mark. We appreciate everything you've done, whether it's for the Chili Bowl, whether it's High Limit Racing, whatever it is. And thank you for joining the Chili's pre-race show. Enjoy the rest of the night.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
All right, that's Mark Floriani. Don't forget, if you are watching on FloRacing 24/7 tonight, you can watch Hot Laps and the heat races for free. And up until then, make sure to flip over to the FloRacing app as well on your phone. Next up on the Chili's pre-race show, it is going to be the controversial 3 for Me. We'll pick our podium for tonight here on Thursday, the Chili Bowl Nationals. Stay tuned for that right after this break. The Chili's Chili Bowl Nationals pre- and post-race show is brought to you by Chili's and the Chili's 3 for Me. It's the best $10.99 you can eat. Welcome back to the pre-race show. It's the 40th Chili Bowl Midget Nationals presented by NOS Energy Drink. Let's jump into the previous Thursday night winners here of the Chili Bowl presented by Winters Performance. And much like yesterday, Brian, it is a lot of one name. Copy-paste, Control-V, Christopher Bell all the way down the line with the exception of Tanner Thorson and Spencer Baston breaking them up a little bit there.
Yeah, that C-Bell 7 straight still the record for most in a row. I mean, that's insane to think about. The amount of really luck that you do still kind of have to win these prelims is a lot. So for him to do that 7 times in a row is wild.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt. I don't want to get too philosophical here, but I think luck in this building is a hot topic word, right? And no doubt I think everybody places a different value on luck, right? Luck is, to some people, what hard work is to others, right? And so I always like to kind of hear how different drivers use the word in pre- or post-race interviews. I'm sure Christopher Bell would give you some weight towards the word luck, but I also believe he and Tanner Thorson and Spencer Baston that we saw on that list, they would tell you that it's maybe a little bit of luck, but it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of studying. Emerson Axsom talked about last night in his victory lane interview. He'd watched races. He'd watched replays. Dason Pursley's gone on about staying up all night watching old Chili Bowl races all year long. You study, you prepare, you work hard, and then you get your opportunity. Luck versus hard work, they both have a place in this building.
Yeah, they definitely do. Now let's move on to apparently everybody in the building's favorite topic here of this pre-race show, and it is the 3 for Me. It is the podium picks. Of course, yesterday, Emerson Axsom, maybe with one of the quotes of the week so far, saying that, hey, this pre-race show, it's a bunch of high-limit guys picking all the high-limit drivers. And so today we are going to pick every high-limit. No, I'm just kidding. And we're not going to do that. But we will be talking about our favorite guys for tonight as far as the podium goes. And like I've done all week long, I want to have maybe a guy in there that is maybe not a little bit off the wall, I guess you could say. I am going to go third place tonight. We've already mentioned him several times. In his own car this year, I'm going to put Christopher Bell, bottom step of the podium like he was here at this event last year. Second place tonight is going to be the guy driving for tomorrow's guest on this pre-race show, Chase Briscoe. I'm going to put Carter Sarf second place tonight, locking into the show on Saturday. He led laps on this prelim night last year before a mechanical problem. And then Tanner Thorson will get his back-to-back win here on Thursday. He is just so good inside this building. That is my 3 for me tonight, Brian.
I hate doing this because it's hard.
It is very, especially tonight. I mean, it's super hard.
There's so many to choose from. I'm going to start third place. I'm going 0 to hero, Ryan Bernal. I gave him some motivation. I told him the last 2 nights the guy I picked third is actually locked in. So
okay.
I have him locking in. He did it last year, ran second with Matt Wood. Those cars have been impeccable all week long. Second place, I'm going to go Tanner Thorson. 1 step down from you. I think he locks in for his 12th consecutive championship A main appearance. Hopefully he sees this. I know he will give me a good talking to,
of
if
course.
So. And I hope I know, just calm down. I'm going to pick a World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series full-timer for the win tonight. I'm going to go with Spencer Baston. He did it 2 years ago. This is the car. They had a rough year last year. They went back to the car that he won the Race of Champions with and the prelim night with. And I think they learned what to change in the Race of Champions, so I'm going with an Outlaw for the win.
I heard he was raving about the car after practice day. He was really happy with it. Yeah.
It's funny. You joke about a Chase, but it's like we've heard it, at least I've heard it from people saying, can you not pick us? So, I picked 1 or 2 drivers earlier this week, and then when they didn't have a good night, it was our fault. And then when you don't pick someone and they run well, it's your fault. So, yeah, it's kind of a lose-lose situation here.
I don't know who your top 3 are, but I've been told not to take Kyle Cummins tonight from the Speed Lab crew. Okay,
that is true.
Because they were so good yesterday without us taking Emerson. So no Cummins, at least for me.
Yeah, it's tough. I had Kyle Cummins on my top 3 in one version of this, and
high limit guy.
I apparently, yeah. I mean, depending on who you talk to, but yeah. I mean, so it's very funny. Like, I hope everybody remembers. Like, we don't really have that big of an impact on how these cars run out on track. Yeah. We're just having fun here. So, please take these with a grain of salt. But I've got third place being Christopher Bell, getting out of here with some success, as he seems to find so often in this place. Second's Ryan Bernal. I don't think the accident back on practice on Sunday is going to deter them. They've got such a good baseline over there at Matt Wood Racing. Shane Golubich's the crew chief. He's a racer, and he's fast in this building, whether he's setting up or driving the race cars. And then Tanner Thorson, he's a winner on Saturday night here in this building. He's determined. Like I said earlier, Keith Coons has described him as an engineer, just just lacking a degree. And if Tanner Thorson, I think he is one of the smartest guys in this building, but if you don't want to give him that credit, he's one of the hardest working guys in this building. He builds his own race cars, and he drives the absolute heck out of them. So those are my 3 for me.
So just to clarify, you picked the podium from last year 2 nights in a row on your 3 for me, or no? I think you had that's the podium from last year, or no?
Yeah, well, I didn't pick the podium from last year because we didn't pick Emerson, and he was the winner.
Maybe that was the night before.
He's got you. I think it was me. I think Monday
night.
Oh,
that was you. Okay. No. Well, I'm fired.
No, I mean,
Tony's hosting tomorrow.
No, I don't think that would be a good idea.
Well, hey, we've got a few more minutes here. I mean, the guys in the booth, I'm sure I was just actually texted Caleb Hart. They're probably needing a couple extra minutes because there's fresh baked cookies down in the flow booth. So we got to give them a couple time to eat those.
Can we look? Do we have any shot to look at heat lineups? Do we know?
I'm not sure, but I do know that heat race number 5 tonight is going to be absolutely loaded. That's where Christopher Bell is at. He'll be on the pole, but also Ashton Torgerson is in there. You've got Braden Schiermonte, Sam Haferteep Jr., Trevor Klein, and our buddy Clint Boyles, his dad, on the outside of the front row for heat race number 5, Joe Boyles.
Joe Boyles.
Yep.
Great individual.
He's a I think he ran 4th, 5th, 6th 1 year at the Chili Bowl, 2000, maybe it might have been 2000.
These are tonight?
Yes, tonight.
Yep. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't find out where he is. But Danny Sams is making his midget racing debut here tonight.
That'll be fun.
He's brought a little bit of Florida with him. They're having a lot of fun over there. He's only ever driven a midget once before, and that was for a few laps in practice on Sunday. He has just raved about this event. It's his first time here in person. He admitted it's a long week, but man, is it a lot of fun. And he just talks about being able to go around and find people from every corner of the motorsports world hanging out here inside the Expo Square or inside the Expo Center. So the SageNet Center for those keeping track. But yeah, Danny Sams, I can't wait to see how his night goes. He's not a podium pick of mine, but I hope he has fun.
Yeah, him and Logan Julian, Joel Myers Jr., all 3 of those guys rookies, and 410 sprint car drivers as well from around the country, whether that's with High Limit or just kind of in regional action with IRA and whatnot. So looking forward to seeing how those guys will do. Before we send it down to the booth, racing lives on Flow. Stream the biggest moments across dirt, pavement, and beyond with Flow Racing. Get live events, replays, highlights, and exclusive content all in one place so you never miss a lap. Stream it all live on Flow Racing. Let's now go down to the booth and check in with Caleb Hart and Chris Wilner. Guys, how are those cookies down there? Hopefully you saved a couple for me.
There's more than a few for you, Chase.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, Chase.
What about me, Caleb?
Tony, more than enough to fit your appetite, buddy. We got you covered.
All right,
that's a lot of cookies.
That's a lot of cookies.
Yeah, that's a whole tray.
Will you be doing any rapping for us tonight, Caleb, as you did during the warm-ups?
I believe you guys got that all covered for us.
All right.
You nailed it up there. Well done, boys. Yeah. And a fantastic Chili's pre-race show here at the Chili Bowl Nationals. Welcome in. Live coverage of the 40th Annual Chili Bowl Nationals powered by NOS Energy Drink kicks off here from the Brian Gapinski announcer's booth. Caleb Hart and Chris Wilner on throwback night.
That's right.
Here in the building. Excited to get a little bit of vintage t-shirt action going on between everybody on the broadcast today. That should be a good time. And hopefully some vintage good midget racing action that's on that racetrack. We have got a ton of superstars going out today in another loaded field, looking for a 4th great night of main event action.
Yeah, you heard several of the names on the Chili's pre-race show, but you're right, 82 drivers signing in here on Hasty Bake qualifying night on our throwback night. Caleb, who are you wearing on your throwback t-shirt night?
Kurt Michael, got you covered. Shirt designer
there you
extraordinaire. Go. Yeah, it's only about 10 years old, but at the same time, it's the oldest one I got.
Well, this is circa 2002, 2003. Sunshine, Tyler Courtney and his brother Taylor. TNT Racing. The old Bull Rider Quarter Midgets. Had a pleasure of racing with them back in the day, so this was cool. Thank you, Shelly Courtney, for bringing the t-shirt for me to wear.
I love it. We've got to check in with the other members of our broadcast. Good afternoon, Brian Ward. Brian, who are you wearing today?
Good afternoon, Caleb. I went with a different aspect. I got away from the dirt for my throwback. This is a 1997 Sterling Marlin NASCAR t-shirt. This one